Troops, here we are. It's a lovely sunny day in sunny England. I've been joined tonight on the Eagle podcast by an absolute machine. Only found out about her the other day on Instagram, and I was like, wow, here's someone who is absolutely getting after it on another level. She's called Katy Parrot, and she's better known as KP. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm strong. I'm enjoying the current challenge. What about yourself? Life, COVID.
Yeah, I'm actually having a really good time. Training every day, doing loads of cooking, loads of eating. I've
Yeah.
started painting, so life, I can't complain. Life's not bad.
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that. When you've said the word I'm enjoying it. It's almost like it's a taboo to say that because there's so many people who are struggling. But I believe they're struggling because they've never really done anything hard in their lives. So where you come from, for those who don't know, you come from like a ultra marathon, trail running, 50, 60 mile, absolute hideous events, which get really hard towards the back end, which make you suffer, which
Big
build,
time.
which though build character. And when hard times come around, you're like, oh, here we are again, hard times. How are you doing?
Well, it's just making the best of a bad situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm one of
Um,
these people, if I'm not busy, I hate it. Like I have to be mega busy. So
yeah.
I'm finding myself loads of things to do and setting daily challenges and just making the most of the time really. I'm usually all over the place, so it's nice to just slow down slightly in a way.
What drawed you into trail running, fell running, and long distance ultra stuff? What was it about it in particular?
Um, well, like most things I do, it kind of starts off as a bit of an accident. A mate just asked me, "Oh, do you fancy doing a 100K run with me?" I just said, "Yeah, all right then." Um, so that was sort of my first big event. It was a shame because he then had to drop out before due to injury. So I
Yeah.
ended up doing the whole thing on my own, which was an emotional time. But before that, again, I'd done a couple of things. So through the reserves, three guys from my unit asked if I'd join them on a 4-person team relay where you had to run loops of 10K for 24 hours.
Wow.
It
Mm.
was that was quite horrendous actually, because obviously like our 10K started off at like 40 something minutes,
Hmm.
and you then rest for 2-3 hours and completely seize up and then get woken up. It's like getting woken up a stag but
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Katie, it's your turn to run, and you're like, oh my
Uh,
god, I can't move my legs. So yeah, I think our last laps ended up at like an hour and a half or something.
and there's something called a backwater ultra, which I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's very, very similar to what you're talking about. And it's run by the guy who runs the Barclay. So
Oh,
it's from
in
Lazarus.
Tennessee.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Yeah.
And it's a 4 mile loop. And the only condition is you have to be back on the start line within an hour. So if you
I,
can
I
blast,
I have heard this one.
yeah.
That
And
sounds awful. Like proper mind games.
yeah, and can you imagine that? I mean, some really tasty long distance runners. It's a 24-hour event, so really, a lot of really tasty runners turn up. But like I've heard people say is, if you can be consistent and say you run your four miles in 45 minutes, that gives you 15 minutes rest where you can eat,
Yeah.
catch a micro sleep, sort your feet out, then go again. Um, like that's mindset, and I think what really impressed me about your Instagram and the stuff that I looked at is I always saw you smiling, which is an indicator that you're quite in quite like pain. Is this true?
Um, like pain. It's an interesting way of putting it. I just like a challenge. I like pushing myself. I like seeing how far I can go. And I think especially when you're doing it with other people and you go through that stuff together,
Hmm.
like you just got to have a laugh. And one of my favorite phrases is that attitude is the difference between an ordeal and an adventure. So you could go do something and it's going to be shit whether you've got a smile on your face or not. So you might as well do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it. What would you say is the hardest thing that you've done?
Things have been hard for different reasons, I suppose, but that 100k I did was just under 2 years ago now. That was pretty horrendous. Because I literally had never run anywhere near that distance in my life.
Howling.
And also the reason why I was doing it. So it was mentally and physically draining. So basically, because I signed up with my friend, he then dropped out. I wanted to run sort of for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
And my friend, sadly, she committed suicide 18 months before that. So I decided to sort of run it in her memory, raise money for Mind, the charity. And so with that sort of in the back of my mind the whole time, I was like, I literally cannot give up because of why I'm doing it. And yeah, it was like middle of summer as well. It was that summer where I had like 30 degrees during the day.
Yeah.
I think I had to climb like 8,000 foot in total. And my shoes, totally wrong choice. I took my shoes off at 50k and I already had blood blisters under 4 toenails. I was like, oh God, like putting those shoes back on was just horrendous.
What event was this?
It was the Cotswold Way Ultra.
Wow, go for it.
So started in Bath and finished in Cheltenham. And so it took me like 16 hours or something mental. And the worst thing was the drive home was then, so I live in Bristol, basically next to Bath.
Yeah.
The drive home was 45 minutes. I was like, I've just run all this way. Oh wow. Yeah, it was a proper adventure though. I mean, I got to 80k pit stop. And my best mate Lucy, she was live tracking me on the day. Yeah. And I was lying down on the massage couch, shoving pizza in my face, getting my calves massaged. And she messaged me and was like, KP, you're third female. And I was like, eh? I was like, oh fuck. Now I've got a podium to like try and get on. It hadn't even crossed my mind before. So yeah. I like threw the pizza across the tent and just got up and ran out the tent and just basically didn't look back for the last 20k.
And like talk us through that 20k, because I'm really interested in the mind. Like I'm a big advocate of Goggins, and I listen to Goggins a lot. And I sort of really sign into this. There's always 10% more attitude. Like there's always a way. It's just how bad you want it. And obviously, was that the driving factor for you that your friend had said to you, there's a podium finish, and you were like, I'm getting on that fucking podium. Right, let's go.
I suppose that was like an added bonus. Like I was always going to finish. It didn't matter if I was going to crawl over that finish line with, no toenails left. That wasn't even a consideration. But I think that then was, an added bonus. To be able to get on a podium on your first 100k is
unbelievable,
amazing. But yeah, those last 20k took me to some very strange places. I remember I was running along like a ridge line, and there was an amazing sunset, and I looked at it and I was like, I should really be enjoying this, but it's fucking shit. And I'd made up this like whole alter ego as well. So I made up that my name was Lady Ploddington from Plodshire.
Wow.
And I just wasn't allowed to stop plodding, but it just got me through. I know I sound like I'm absolutely cuckoo, don't I? But yeah, just little things like that. I went off to this crazy little make-believe land and just kind of floated along for the last 20k with glow sticks in my hands.
And is Lady Ploddington still on the scene, getting the miles in?
She appears every now and again. Yeah, if I'm having a bit of a downtime, a bit of a low time, Lady Ploddington will appear and get me to crack on.
It's amazing. Like that, I love it. I
You're a little
absolutely,
bit speechless, aren't you?
yeah. I'm because obviously, for those who know David Goggins is the man, but he created Goggins the Beast. So when he's in dark places, it's Goggins, and it's all you're gonna have to kill me sort of attitude to stop me, and it gets done. Now I thought you were going to say like I've created like whatever, but then you said Lady Ploddington. I was like, it's quite posh. it's quite up there. But no, it has.
Well, yeah,
It's
your head
full
takes
of-
you to some weird places when you're in that state.
yeah. It does. It does it. It's really funny. So, what other sort of events does it catch your eye? Do you think, oh yeah, what's that over there? That looks a bit tasty. Like, what really gets you sort of thinking, oh yeah, I like a bit of
Um, Anything where other people go, ugh, that looks horrible.
that? Wow.
I well, apart from ultras, I did a half Ironman as well,
Mm.
having never ridden a road bike in my life.
It's no different.
Um,
It's no different than a mountain bike, is it?
I never ridden one of those either.
Oh wow, straight in.
Yeah, my old boss, Monty Halls, he challenged me to a half Ironman and was like, "Oh, by the way, it's in 3.5 months' time. Better
Wow.
buy yourself a bike." So that was fun. I beat him, so that was the main thing.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I just love anything that gets me outside, challenges me. I love climbing mountains. I love visiting new places, new countries, and just sort of experiencing as much as I can, really.
Yeah, it's great. It's like I'm sitting here listening to you, and it's a breath of fresh air because sometimes I hear people and they'll say like, "Oh, I'd love to do that," and I'm like, "Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it." But like, there's so many people that they live on Sunday Island, like they just live in this faraway place where one day they'll be able to do something like they'll say, I'd love to do that, but um, it's really hard. And like, look, it doesn't matter how fit you get, it's always gonna be really hard. If you just
Yeah,
think,
absolutely.
because whatever level you play at, it's really hard. Because if you're really fit, then you really push it, don't you? So therefore, it's really, really hard because you're really fit and you're really pushing it. So you're going for it. If you're really fit, you're not just going to turn
It's all
into an event.
relative, isn't it?
Yeah, it's relevant to what you're doing and the level that you're working at.
But
You,
I say this to a lot of people because I've got mates that are like, "Oh, I really want to get better at running," and I'm like, "Why didn't you come out for a run with me?" And they're like, "No, no, no, I couldn't do that." And I'm like, "But regardless of whether you know I might go and do a training run of 20K, for you doing a 5K is a massive achievement, and that should
yeah,
be celebrated." Um,
absolutely.
and I support anyone that wants to go out and challenge themselves, regardless of what it is, because it is all relative. And what I do is nothing compared to a lot of other people that are amazing athletes and all sorts. And you, I've learned that you can't compare yourself to others because there's always going to be
Mm.
someone better. There's always going to be someone worse. It's about
100%.
doing what makes you happy and what you enjoy.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. There's too many people who put themselves next to these unachievable like ultra runners or Olympic runners, and it's like you can't judge yourself on the Olympic 5K record. You're not Olympic athlete. It's
Exactly.
completely irrelevant. Just go and beat you. Just go and be the optimum human being that you can be, and have a great adventure. I want to talk about your blast on TV 4 years ago. Let's talk when you went through the special forces.
Oh,
Go on, go for it.
that one. Okay, so it was 4 years ago. A friend of mine, so again, a friend said, "Hey, I think you should try this." And I went, "Okay then." So it was actually a bloke I'd met. So when I was 19, so 9 years ago,
Yeah.
I went on Total Wipeout,
No, mint. Love it.
dressed in a lycra tiger outfit. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So So a guy I met on that went on the first series of BBC Special Forces Ultimate Hell Week.
Yeah.
He then got in touch and said, look, they're doing a second series. I think you should go on it. So I just signed up because why the hell not?
Yeah.
And you never actually think you'll get on these things. And I had to go through application, fitness testing, like an hour-long audition filmed in a studio, team building, medical, loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, like 4 stages later, I got a phone call, be like, oh, hey, yeah, you're off to South Africa in 5 weeks. We're sending you some military boots and a training program. All right, see you at the airport. I put the phone down and I was just like, fuck, what have I got myself into? Because I'd never done anything like that before. I was like relatively fit, but I wasn't to the level I am now, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just turned up at Heathrow, 24-year-old, and got flown out to South Africa. And yeah, it's basically every 2 days was a different Special Forces veteran, different country.
Wow.
That would put us through 48 hours of, some form of their disgusting fizz, basically. And yeah, we had no idea what was coming. And yeah, I just went into it with an open mind and just to discover how I do, really. I never thought I'd do well, or, a lot of people were like, I'm going to win this. And I was like, I'm just going to try and stay alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had the gumption to say yes, like, and you've accepted all of these challenges and you've done all these amazing things. And look at where you are now, like headspace wise, like it's very, very impressive. And do you coach anyone? Have you ever thought about sort of helping? Are you involved in any sort of coaching programs to help people stop being like, oh, I'd like to do that one day, maybe if the fucking sun comes out on a Wednesday afternoon? Like, all these people who put like in 1,000 excuses here before they would even do anything.
No, I haven't, nothing like that really. I've unofficially, I get people messaging me, asking for advice and stuff like that. But no, I've never done any official form of coaching or anything.
I think you should, mate. You have something about you. You have you have that wow factor. You have that like fucking hell, like, and if you could inspire people to go and live like healthier, better lives, and then get to the point where they are attempting stuff that they wouldn't have dreamed of a year ago, and they're thinking, wow, it's amazing. And being in deep water with sharks is really good. Like, it's really good because it opens up your different parts of your brain, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. Like, it's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Massively. Like a lot of the things I do, I'm not comfortable doing them. I guess it's just not letting fear get in the way of you doing it. It's channeling that fear of failure into working hard and training hard and doing something positive.
Do you have any techniques that you employ when you're running, or like, have you got a certain way of coping? Do you have like a coping mechanism?
I always say to myself that this is going to end at some point. If if I'm hurting or in a bad way, I'm just like, it will end. And you always feel so much better for it afterwards.
Yeah.
That people talk about the runner's high, and I've had it where I've done some insane fizz for 3 hours, and people are like, you should be exhausted, and I'm still bouncing off the walls because genuinely get that high after I do a big run or a big exercise session. That exists.
I think you should look to do the Barclay. I think that would be a real test of you. And I had the pleasure of speaking to Nicky Spinks, who's like an elite fell runner, holds God knows how many records for the Bob Graham and the Paddy Buckley and all these great, well-renowned races. And she went out there and she spoke with me very, very honestly about how tough the Barclay is for many reasons.
Yeah, I've watched the documentary and it looks absolutely insane.
I
Right up my
think,
street.
yeah, I'm telling you, man, I want to see you in 2 years' time. On there, getting you handing your number plate over to Laz, and you're getting next to the gate, and boo, and the
With
concorn
the
goes, and you're
isn't
off.
it the
Yeah,
shell?
with the shell, yeah, yeah, and when he lights a cigarette for the start, yeah.
Oh
I think.
well, if she can give me any tips on how to get in, then send them my way.
Do you know what? You have to write him an essay of why you want to be a part of the Barclay, why you deserve to be a part. That's how you do it.
So I have
It's all,
heard that, but I didn't know how you send it, or I part of me thinks you'd probably want it sent via like carrier pigeon or something mental.
look, if you get in touch with Nikki Spinks on Instagram, she's very very she responds to people, and she'd probably check your page out and see like if someone like yourself, like an up and coming firecracker, and be like, yeah, okay, brilliant. She's all about supporting fellow athletes trying to do extraordinary things. She'd tell you how to do it.
I better do that then.
Yeah, challenge accepted was the
Challenge
word
accepted.
that was the words I was looking for. Katie, I like to sort of do a close down of the show, and I've got a section called the 5 watts. Now I've changed them for the COVID, but we are creatures of routine. We always have been since we lived in the caves and the cavemen and all the rest of it. So what does your day look like at the moment?
So right now I basically am a cave girl in reality. So I
Class.
get up about 7, have my breakfast, then I'll either get on with painting.
Yeah.
So I used to paint a lot when I was a kid, did A-level art, haven't picked up a paintbrush in about 4 years,
Yeah.
and just decided that's how I was going to spend my time during lockdown, because I can't, a lot of my work is is overseas, abroad. Obviously,
Yeah.
I can't do that. So yeah, I just started painting, and it's been non-stop commissions since.
What?
So yeah, I'll stand up, crack on with a canvas. I usually do some form of hit circuit. So
Yeah.
I've been getting really creative, which has been awesome. Just getting ideas from people online. I've got a kettlebell and a power bag, and yeah, just doing disgusting sessions, collapsing at the end.
Wow.
Then
Well,
probably some more painting,
yeah.
and then for a run early evening.
No Netflix, no Amazon, no Disney Plus.
After dinner, I might sit down and watch something on Netflix, but during the day I don't.
Cool. Second one, what workouts are you doing? Now, when I say workout, I class a mental workout and a physical workout equally as important. It's no good just being a machine body if your mind is weak. So, do you listen to other podcasts? Do you listen to inspirational books? Like, how do you keep the mind a fortress?
So I'm currently reading
Here we go.
Born to Run. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's about the Tarahumara runners in Mexico that are just
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
So I do a bit of reading in the evening. I do have a bit of a fetish for jigsaws.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. It's mental stimulation.
Yeah, I'm currently on the Japanese art of the wave.
Right.
1,000
Wow.
pieces. It is absolutely nails. I'm right at the end, so it's all just plain white pieces now.
Well,
and then painting actually is
yeah.
it's challenging, because I'm quite often working off quite a crappy image, and I've got to turn that into a masterpiece using paints and a paintbrush.
Well, I just want to sort of throw it out there. I'm the actual international Jenga champion of the world. So
Right. Well, next time we speak, or let's meet and have a Jenga roll.
yeah, that's a challenge accepted. Third one. What have you started? Have you started anything new?
I guess I've touched on it. Started painting again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've turned an old hobby into a lockdown career.
Cool. Well done.
Really enjoying it. Started throwing kettlebells around. Never really used them before, but you know, got to get creative. I've been using dice and packs of cards for my workouts as well.
Nice.
And just generally posting a lot more about that, which I didn't normally do before.
Awesome.
But it's great getting responses from people saying I've loved your workouts. I've been trying them.
Carl Rushton from the Black Sheep. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a top guy on Instagram, top super runner. He sent me this hideous thing where you start with day 1 is 40 burpees, 8 press ups, and then every day it's 5 more burpees, then 1 more press up. So by the time the month is finished, it's howling. It's like 300 burpees and 100 press ups by the time you finish. It's pretty gross.
I did, quite early in lockdown, so every Saturday I've been setting a 1,000 rep challenge. And the first one I did was 1,000 burpees for time.
Wow, well done you. That is
it was absolutely honking.
Yeah, that's a fair shout.
But the best thing, I've had about 4 or 5 people that I've never met sent me a message saying I'm trying 1,000 burpees, and I just love that. I think it's awesome.
It's that's what it's all about. Fourth one, mate. What have you stopped doing? Like for me, I was a big coffee shop and a big cinema going. What's ended in your world?
I eat out a lot. Like right. I love going for dinner.
Yeah.
So I guess obviously I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking at all. I haven't touched booze since January.
Wow. Well, let's start again if you can, or are you finished with it?
I'm really indifferent, to be honest.
Fair play.
Plus, I'm just an absolute loose cannon, so the world is a safer place. But I can go months without it. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, you do come across as like some sort of crazy maverick. That's the feeling that I'm getting from you. Is that a fair enough shout?
Something like that.
Yeah, fair play. Fifth and final one. What's the first thing you're going to do after lockdown is officially finished?
I just want to hug my best friends. Like honestly, I'm such a social creature, cool. And I miss people. I miss that interaction. So just some really, really long hugs, I reckon.
Awesome. Look, mate, it's been fantastic speaking to you.
It's been great. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I chat a load.
No, hey, it's fine. I think you've got a great philosophy, and I think a lot of people could really take some inspiration from you.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Tell the masses where they can find you, not literally in the street, but like social media side.
So on Instagram, katy.parrot, and on Twitter, I'm Parrot Katy.
I like what you've done. No website?
No, I actually do own katyparrot.com. I just haven't got around to making it yet. So maybe watch this space.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, if lockdown has taught us anything, tomorrow sometimes isn't guaranteed. So get after it. Sign up for that race. Do that event. Do all these things that you wanted to do. It's okay to cry and it's okay to suffer. Katy, thanks very much for your time. I know you're out the door for a run. I really appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Bye, mate. Bye-bye. Bye.